Melanie, and I'm your guest host, professional coach Elles Lohuis. Now, last week I was talking about what were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about life purpose for entrepreneurs, and I'm back, and this time I'm talking about how to make the early morning work for you. As a high achiever entrepreneur, always wanting to be your best, I personally think that having an early morning routine, just half an hour before you get into your busy work, before you get with the kids and everything, is really, really essential. Now, a little bit about me. I'm a professional coach, trainer, and speaker. And for the last 25 years, actually, I've been working with people on their development through education, lecturing, training. And I'm talking today about the early morning routine because it is a subject that's very dear to my heart. Because I honestly think that for the last 25 years, all the things I've been doing, I couldn't have done this, without my early morning routine. Marina, you also have an early morning routine?
Yes, I am. I just need to make a correction.
Yeah, very good.
So, and I'm here to be asked any questions you want me to ask, or you want our listeners to ask. And I'm here just to be part of your journey, because I think you have an incredible, absolutely amazing determination to take on this journey as many people as possible, and especially the high achievers who are there all by themselves and they feel in a very lonely place. And that's why I enjoy speaking with you, and I enjoy even more listening to you, because it's so much to learn. And people, just before we start, could you please mention the website where they could find you?
Oh, I'm at thecontemplationcafe.com. That's where you can find me.
Cafe.
Yes,
Oh my God,
yes,
that's so
Contemplation
exciting.
Cafe.
So
Yeah.
what's happening there?
Oh, that's my daily blog. And well, actually, you can also find there my breakfast club, where I give a training on the early morning routine. Actually,
Oh my
you
God,
can
I'm an
download
early
this for
bird. I
free.
would love to join that myself. So for our listeners, please, if you are an early bird, or if you are not especially, go there now. So it's www.contemplationcafe.com.
Yeah, thecontemplationcafe.com. Especially if you're not an early bird and you want to be, come on over. Because Marina, that's so funny, because we all know how good the early morning is and having an early morning routine. We hear all the successful people in business and in sports and arts, we hear them talk about it. Everybody has that early morning routine. And I know a lot of people said, oh, I would love to do that, and I know a lot of people who have accomplished so much in their life, and they said, the only thing I didn't do is get up early in the morning and take the time for myself. And to be honest, Marina, I was like that too for years. I would, I would do 6 weeks really, really well, and then I slumped back and hit the snooze button. And then I got into my professional life. I had my own language center at the west of Ireland, and I decided, enough with this humming and hawing. I'm going to get my early morning routine down. And I got a very good coach at the time who coached me on having two pillars of it, and one is the mindset and the other side is the routine. If you got that down, then you got your early morning routine down. Because let's be honest, everybody loves to gain more time. And think about it, if you get up 1 hour earlier for 350 days a week, not days a year, not the Christmas, not your birthday, just 350 days a week. That's about 8 extra work weeks of 40 hours. 8 weeks you gain by just 1 hour earlier every morning. I find that amazing. And not only you gain time, you gain a lot of energy, because if you get up early in the morning, you get more physical energy. You can prepare yourself better, get a real breakfast, maybe pack a homemade lunch, maybe get some exercise done. You also set yourself up for your best day mentally. Because in the early morning, it's wonderful to connect to yourself first. Set your internal compass and your own focus before you go out in the world and get over flooded with everybody else's reactions. And, just having more health and more energy. Because various studies have shown that the physical benefits of waking up early between 6 and 8 in the morning really helps your body, promoting restorative sleep and give it more energy in the daytime. And I found this very funny. Early risers, and it's shown scientifically that they're more optimistic. I thought that was wonderful, you know. So if you want to get more optimistic, you just rise a little bit early. Now, like I said, many people want it. And to make it stick, two things. It comes down to your reason and to your rhythm. Your big why. Why do you actually want to get up early? That is going to make you get up early, and your rhythm, your personal morning routine, is going to set you up for your most productive morning and meaningful day. Rhythm and reason are what I think the keystones to your early morning success. Identify your big why. Why do you want actually get up early and rise and shine? Now, I can tell you why I want to rise and shine because, you know, I love in the morning getting up and connecting to myself first. I love in the morning to just have a quiet cup of coffee. I love in the morning to meditate and write. But why do you want to get up early in the morning? You have to get that crystal clear. If you think, oh, everybody else is doing it, I should be doing it, that's not enough. You really have to think, why, what will I gain? And that is your foundation. If you get it crystal clear why you want something, then you can work on it. And if you have established your big why, then you structure your rhythm. And a lot of people say, oh, if I just get up earlier, it will work. Well, it doesn't in my experience, because if you just get up earlier and you have no plan, you're probably going to look at Facebook in the morning, do your email, get the newspaper. And that was not why you get up, why you wanted to get up. Setting up a morning structure for your most productive, most meaningful day to meet your reason is really, really important, because when you get up and you've actually accomplished after that hour what you wanted to accomplish, then it's a motivation to get up again. Also, your structure is a support body in times of a dip of motivation. You know, in the times that, oh, the winter's coming and you want to hit the snooze button. And, you know, this will happen because even I've had a very solid morning routine for two decades now. Even I sometimes, you know, want to hit the snooze button on days that is not going to go. Rhythm. What are you planning on the early morning? Very, very important. Just getting up early is not good enough. Marina, may I ask you something? I know you have a little bit of a morning routine.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And
Do you have you pre-planned what you're doing, or do you just get up and, oh, that's it?
so what I do, I just am, you know, like
Yeah.
I am, and I made that that agreement with myself that I will embrace the morning. And sometimes, you know what's happening, El? I just can't wait for. I wake up 10 minutes to 6 each morning.
Ooh,
Doesn't matter
nice.
where I am in the world. I don't use an alarm clock. I
Yeah.
always know when it's 10 minutes to 6, but sometimes I can't wait for the clock. The time is not moving fast enough for me. So,
Really?
and I'm sitting there in bed thinking, oh my God, how long is it going to take? How many seconds this second got? You know. So
Yeah.
yes, I do allow myself to imagine my day, to imagine the people I meet, to imagine the person I will become after I meet these people. And I'm so grateful for the people I met the day before. For me, it's all about people, because best things in life for me are not things, are people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm keep thinking of something they said and I learn from it, or perhaps some of my clients, they said something so meaningful, and I'm
Yeah.
keep thinking of that. It's
Wonderful.
just I think this thinking is almost like um, a two-way street. So it's not only what I think randomly,
Yeah.
it's respecting the street signs, you know, like slow down, go faster, give
Yeah.
priority. So to
Yeah.
me, each day there is an hour, which I call it the 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 morning soul. This is how I, in my mind, this is the
That's
name for it.
wonderful.
So I had to name it. So the morning soul is all about what makes my heart sing, what makes me happy. I never think of the little hitches or, like challenges I had. And I always think of how wonderful it felt when I turned them into an opportunity. Even little things, tiny things, And even let's say sometimes you have a bad hair day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that actually, because I learned from one of my clients how to style my hair in 5 minutes, now I don't need to worry about, I don't need to think about, it's done, it's sorted, it's solutioned.
Yeah.
So of course, I always think, what can I do today to help more than one person to create better life choices?
That's
Because for a
wonderful.
very long time, I was doing one-on-one,
Yeah.
and it was very frustrating to help only one person a day. And but I was sticking to that. Even let's say I would have a long flight, let's say from east to west for 29 hours, I will sit next to somebody who is not interested in talking, let's say.
Yeah.
But what I will do, I will in my mind, I will think of somebody I never met, and I will think of their story and
Okay.
how best they could. So this is how the Radio Wars World was created, because I spent
Wonderful.
so much time on myself, thinking on a two-way street, and thinking what else I can do. I mean, I'm not doing enough, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So thinking that is so much greatness out there, and I'm so grateful for every single person coming into my life and helping me to understand something in a different way than before I met them. So
Yeah.
that's my morning soul. Over to you, El.
Yeah, so you really use the first hour in the morning to connect to yourself and give yourself that space and time for your inner ideas to develop. That's a
Yes.
wonderful, well, that's wonderful. Yeah. I call my first hour in the morning my soul awaken hour. It's for me, the first hour of the day is a perfect time to energize and nourish my soul, because in the morning, just when the sun comes up, it has that special energy. And it's nothing new, because actually, all spiritual and philosophical traditions do agree that that morning hour, that first hour of the morning, is very, very special energy. And connection to ourselves then is so easily. And the connection, of course, is vital. And the silence in the morning is golden. And for me, incorporating a contemplative practice in the morning routine, it increases energy, focus, creativity, and thereby also happiness and health. And like you said, you told me in the morning you just be for an hour. And of course, there are many things in the morning that you can do to connect to yourself. And the first thing people always think about is meditation. And meditation is a wonderful thing. And I know many people who actually, when they don't even get up to meditate, they already meditate in the bed. First thing when they first thing when they wake up in the morning. And of course, meditation is only one form. There's prayer. A lot of people in the first thing in the morning pray, because what better state than when you just wake up, you're totally open, you're totally vulnerable, and you connect and exchange with the divine what needs to be. And especially people who already have a prayer practice, if you pray upon awakening, it really stirs your soul. Another way people often in the morning connect to themselves is journaling. The practice of writing, a daily practice of journaling, writing actively yourself in the early morning, it has shown to be very beneficial for your creative process. And journaling improves your self-awareness, and it can even be very, very healing if it's done rightly. And very closely connected to the journaling, of course, and you've already talked to me about it, is the gratitude. The practice of gratitude, a very well-known practice in many traditions. Practicing gratitude helps us to find more meaning and more joy. And, especially when you wake up in the morning and your mind is not that clear yet and it's a little bit foggy, practicing gratitude gives you a really deep level of fulfillment and well-being. I do it every day. I have it here. I even have a little very cute journal about this. This is my gratitude journal. I don't know if you can see it, but it has these beautiful pages of beautiful birds and everything that I journal in, and it's a wonderful, wonderful way of doing a practice that cleanses yourself and connects you to yourself. And yeah, meditation, well, reading would also be, because in the morning your heart is open and your mind is very alert. So reading in the early morning has a powerful effect. You're in an open state, and it makes your text speak directly to your heart, but at the same time you focus on your mind. I usually incorporate it in my morning routine. I have 15 minutes in the morning where I read inspirational text, and I love haikus and poetry. I don't know. Do you read in the morning, Marina?
Oh yes, of course. I think, but that's okay. So that's happening. Like Chinese, they have the tea before the tea before the tea.
Yeah.
It's the same with me. I have. I don't. I won't say I have a routine. Actually, if anything, my routine is to have no routine, to make myself available to greatness,
Oh,
and
wonderful.
it's always to do with reading something that makes me think,
Yeah.
reading something so beautiful, or listening to something or somebody who is so beautiful that I want to understand how I could express myself the same way,
Yeah.
and how I could craft my message for other people to benefit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think people understand through at least my friends, before I retired, they were terrified about the routine. They were hating Mondays, and I always love Mondays because to me it was a fresh beginning. It was like my one birthday a week, each Monday, and I so
Yeah.
embrace it. Where other people say, "Are you crazy? Monday is horrible," but to me, it's always been beautiful because it's a fresh start. But now, after I retired, after I traveled the world, after I've been meeting total strangers, including
Yeah.
myself, from whom I learned so much, I'm thinking, you know what? Each day is my birthday. Doesn't need to be only
Wonderful.
once a year or once a week. It's each day. And each day I start with an open mind, and with, because a miracle is nothing but an open heart away. And
Definitely.
the miracle, because you've been living with the nuns for so long, and you perhaps taught them so much, but you also perhaps learned so much from
Oh, yeah.
them. The
Definitely.
miracle is not something outside you. The
No.
miracle is you.
Yeah.
You just
Definitely.
need to make yourself available to yourself. So I think this is what the routine, the morning routine,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
morning, the soul of the morning is about. That routine
Definitely.
we are referring to is making yourself available to greatness.
Yeah. And a lot of people in my experience, they find it difficult to make themselves available for greatness in the morning by just sitting. So things like meditation, reading, journaling, setting your intentions, they're great tools to develop that, really. I've noticed that. And of course, there's also a lot of people who love exercising in the morning. I'm not one of them, I have to admit. But a lot of my clients also, but also a lot of my friends exercise first thing in the morning. They get their blood going, they get the blood good flowing, and also it releases that great feeling of energy, exercising first thing in the morning. But I
Yeah,
would tell you,
yes.
don't forget to hydrate first in the morning, because I find that very important. When I get out of bed, first thing I do is drink water with a squirt of lemon. Because you have to realize, and I didn't know this, but I actually looked it up, we lose about half a liter of liquid just by sweating during the night. And I didn't even realize that. That's why, we really have to hydrate in the morning. And of course, coffee is a great pick me up, is a great wake up. But I really would recommend first thing in the morning, hydrate yourself with some water. Definitely.
Why? So that's why I'm drinking my glass of water before anything.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know that, but we seem to be losing a lot of liquid during the night just through sweating. Yeah,
Wow. So you see, like other people, exactly the same way other people, I so admire them when they jump in their training shoes and they start running. I cannot do that. But what I
no,
do, I jump on my best thoughts and
yeah.
I run with it. So
That's a good way of saying it.
so I don't know where they will take me, but definitely they won't allow me to stagnate. They won't make me feel redundant. So here I am. I'm going to be soon 55 years young, and when I retired, I was 51 years old. So it's a big difference between what between the choices you make, between how you name the time of your day. For example, for me, everything got a name. Everything, even my glass. I know it sounds crazy, but not only my dog and my children and my friends. I think everything is energy, and everything deserve a good name. So that's why I call my hour to myself. I call it with the name I call it. That's why I call the the fact that I am freeing my mind and decluttering my mind. I'm calling that that process, I call it make myself available for greatness. And then sometimes people are asking me, so what are you doing? I'm saying I'm making myself available for greatness. And they might think I'm off or I lost it or something, but I don't care, because I got clarity. I know that you have to name everything, even this hangout, when you do it on air, unless you give it a name, you can't start it. It's impossible. So that, to me, it's so important. I was wondering if you could share with us a little bit of the experience you got living with the nuns in the top of the mountains. What is their routine?
Because I always thought, I'm really brave getting up early at 6, and do my morning routine. But actually, when I first started living in the monastery as a volunteer, I decided that, I really wanted to experience what the nuns experienced. And I also wanted to get up in the morning with them and see how they do that, And what they actually do is they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And it doesn't matter if it's winter or summer, they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but they don't get out of bed at 5. They sit in the bed and they start praying themselves, the private prayers. They do their private prayers from 5 till 6 in the bed. And that's really, I thought it was really beautiful to see, because the monastery I stayed in, the nuns didn't have a separate room. So it's this very small, very poor monastery where 5 nuns share a room. So what happens is 5 o'clock, and they don't have an alarm clock. They just know, like you have themselves, oh, it's 5 o'clock, their body wakes up, and they sit up and they totally in themselves start praying for an hour. And every nun has different prayers, because they all have individual prayers assigned to them, usually by teachers. That is good for them and good for all sentient beings. So you hear at 5 o'clock in the morning this murmur of prayers going around in the monastery already. And that's beautiful. And it's really beautiful. And then around 10 to 6, it's like they know themselves. They get up, they just splash some water on their face, and they go to the prayer hall. And then at 6 o'clock, their big prayers start, where all the nuns gather around and they do their prayer for an hour. And that is a communal prayer. And you can imagine just the energy of, well, it was a small monastery, so there were 20 nuns sitting around chanting prayer for an hour. And they open the windows, even in the winter, they open the windows so the whole village can hear. And it was amazing, because the birds come. The birds actually sit on the windowsill. The cats come into the prayer hall to just listen. And it's like they wake up the whole village with their prayers, and it's sort of a blessing. And then you see around 6:30, and they pray till 7 o'clock. Around 6:30, the villagers wake up from the prayers. It's wonderful to see. So they have their private prayer from 5 to 6. And I asked them, I said, why do you do private prayer? Because, they already pray so much, because they do the morning prayer from 6 to 7. And then the evening prayer from 8 till 9 in the summer, or 7 till 8 in the winter. And they say, well, teacher, they said, we cannot do prayer together if we're not clean inside. They needed their private prayer to clean themselves inside. I thought it was a wonderful way. Wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
because
God. They said, and it's sort of like you, they said, we're like a vessel and we have to clean ourselves. And when it's clean inside, then we can carry the prayers for other people out of the world with the benefit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was their morning routine, 5 to 6 private prayer to clean yourself and connect to yourself spiritually, like we do, like you are for an hour. I meditate, I journal, I read, to connect to yourself, and then they go out and do their duty to all sentient beings, and that's their prayer. Yeah, it's wonderful. So it's like the same,
Wow.
and I recognize, I thought, oh, I sort of do the same. Of course, not that intense with my meditation and my prayer and my journaling. Connection to yourself so important. If you look in all the spiritual traditions, it doesn't matter if it's Christianity or Muslim tradition or whether any other tradition, the first hour in the morning is usually the connection to oneself. And of course, in this modern world, if you're not into meditation, I see people running around, at 6 o'clock in the morning, really breaking into a sweat, but it's their connection to themselves. A lot of people need that activity because they sit all day. They need that activity of really getting the blood flowing, and then they feel the connection to themselves. And I think it's a wonderful way how modern society, we have so many forms at the moment. But what I do see is really a trend that people take the first hour of the morning not to check their email, not to check their Facebook, but to really set their own intention, to clear themselves and set their own intention for the day. And I think that's wonderful. I really do. I really do. That's wonderful.
Wow. So you are saying, El, that instead of being the produce of a technological era, we would choose to be the children of greatness.
Definitely, definitely. And of course, technology can help with that because, to be honest, I sometimes still use the phone for, I have this a meditation alarm, I set it at 20 minutes. It rings a bell every 10 minutes. So I get, and that's great technology.
Wow.
And of course you have apps where you can journal with, so you can use your technology, but I find it wonderful that we make technology work for us, but the first hour of the day, it's for yourself. Clear yourself, connect to yourself, and then you'll see your day goes much better. Because Marina, what happens to you if you don't have your first hour for yourself? Does that
Well,
ever happen?
actually, I'm quite selfish. So I always had that because I could never get clarity
Yeah,
otherwise. I could never focus on what was in front of me, and I felt like I was leaving myself behind.
yeah,
So I like to see myself ahead of me, like being a couple of steps ahead of me and follow myself, whatever I have in my mind, my inner self, rather than keep looking behind, looking if I'm still there or I lost it or what happened. So
yeah,
I'm quite selfish in that sense. It's like when you travel in the air and they're telling you at the beginning of each flight, they're telling you you have to put the oxygen. If anything happens, you have to put the oxygen supply, the oxygen mask on your face first before you can help the others. So that's exactly right for me. This moment, this soul moment in my life, in my day, is that oxygen is giving me oxygen, is giving me clarity,
yeah,
and is filling me with love. So
yeah,
it's not a love for the sake of love. Is a love that is a state of mind, is a way of life.
yeah,
And I love everything, even challenges. I embrace them. I don't feel, oh my God, what happened to me? I know how it happened for me. And that's the power of morning. That's what the morning gives me. When, like you
yeah.
said, it's so beautiful how you put it, when the describing how the nuns were waking up and they were praying with the birds. It's a
Yes.
reason it's in the
Yeah,
morning, because it's when the birds sing. It's when you could sing your song, the song you
yeah,
have in your heart, that
yeah,
private message to the universe, to God, to other people, for other people, is happening best before you start talking, before you engage with other
yeah,
hazards or priorities. So
yeah.
if you make that priority a number one door to your own greatness, nothing can beat that. Nothing
I
is more powerful than that.
I totally, totally agree. And I have a lot of people saying, yeah, but and then making up excuses like with children, etc. But I always see you can always, it doesn't have to be an hour. Start with 15 minutes. 15 minutes for yourself is already so wonderful. Or I even have clients where I say, okay, if you don't want to do the morning, gently break it in by preparing yourself in the evening. Like, for instance, put everything away. in the evening and wind down. Set yourself up for your best morning by already putting your breakfast stuff on the table, already putting your teapot or coffee pot there, so that when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to do all that stuff between, but you already can smoothly glide into your breakfast. That's the first step, really. And then slowly, slowly, you make more time. You get up 50 minutes earlier. Your breakfast table is already done, so you have 50 minutes just to sit. And then slowly, slowly, 15 becomes 20 minutes. Suddenly, you have a little time to journal or a little time to meditate. But for me, my best morning already starts the evening before, is by clearing the slate, getting all the work, done. And if it's not done, it's not on the table anymore. But starting fresh in the morning, coming down and see it's a new day, it's a new slate. That's the first, for me, that's always been the first step. Because if I come down in the morning and I have my table still with work from the day before, what are you going to do, Marina? I'm going to immediately think, oh, I have to do this and that and that, and gone is my hour. So clean slate in the morning by writing down the day before and just clearing it. For me, that is very important, because I've noticed I can't sit down at the table when there's work to be done. We need to relax then.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. So actually, I was thinking right now when you're saying that unconsciously, I didn't realize why I'm doing this. And sometimes when I have family staying around, I say, Mom, you are obsessed with cleaning the table. And truly, I don't care much about anything else, but I clear the table.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't realize, and I thought, because in the morning I really don't want to deal with yesterday's stuff. I want to, so it's almost like a metaphor.
Yeah.
Wow, well, thank you for clarifying that for me, because my family thought I'm going mad. I'm obsessed with cleaning the table in the evening. But so tell me, I know we don't have much more time for today, and I'm so grateful for you sharing so much and giving us so much. And our listeners, I'm sure they took so many notes, and I can't wait to see some results, to hear some stories, some success stories. So before you go, until next time when we meet, what is the key message for today, Elle?
Well, the key message, I think you have to realize that, your life is not a fad. You can decide how you live your life from now on. And if you decide that you want the fullest out of life, reconnecting to yourself in the morning by taking 15 minutes at a time, seizing that morning, 15 minutes, you will win the day in order to live your life to the fullest. And you will, because nothing is standing in your way. You know what you want out of life. So take those 15 minutes beforehand, set your inner compass, and then head out. 15 minutes to start with. We can all become an early bird and get up at 5. But if you start with 15 minutes, get up 15 minutes earlier, just sit at the table with your cup of tea or coffee and really consciously go through your day. 15 minutes, connect to yourself, set your inner compass. What do you want to accomplish for today? And you're off to a blazing start already. We don't always have to get up at 5 a.m. That would be great. I think we would have much more happier society, but 15 minutes, that's a great start, honestly.
Wow. Thank you so much, Elle.
You're welcome.
Thank you, so grateful. And I can't wait for next episode. So from both of us till next time is goodbye. And remember, make yourself available to greatness, to your inner greatness. Set up not your alarm clock, but your inner compass.
Yes,
From both of us is goodbye.
Okay, bye.